Welcome to Optimal Timelines. My name is Sean, and this is going to be your October 2024 tarot reading for your North Node by sign and house. Now, if you're new to my channel, the reason I use the North Node in tarot readings as opposed to your Sun, Moon, or Ascendant sign is that it's recognized in astrology that your North Node's your North Star. It's what you're here to learn, accomplish, and master in this lifetime. So it's much more relevant to your everyday life and much more accurate in tarot readings as opposed to your Sun, Moon, or Ascendant sign. Now remember, you're going to want to watch two videos, one for your North Node by sign and one for your North Node by house. Now we're here at the end of eclipse season, and on October 2nd, we're going to have a new moon solar eclipse in the sign of Libra at 10 degrees. So what you want to do is you want to look at your personal chart wherever 10 degrees of Libra is, whatever house that is going to be a house that is going to be of great balancing in the next 3 to 6 months. So with that, I'm going to connect to the energies and we can begin. I call upon my spirit guides, guardians, and the wisdom of my ancestors to bring forth the information that's true and correct for all who see and hear this reading, that it may bring them the most beautiful, happy life possible and set them on their most optimal future timeline. So may it be. Okay, North Node in Aries and or the first house. Okay, so yeah, the theme card that popped out for you is the Death card. This is actually very positive. And you know, if you've watched my channel for any number of months, you know, when I look at the so-called scary cards, Death, the Tower, the Devil, they're not scary cards or anything to be afraid of. They're just energies. And Death is not referring to literal death. It's referring to transformation. In order for us to change, something has to pass away in order to move on. For example, if we are going to go from a state of being unhealthy, junk food, not exercising, and we want to transform into a healthy, fit person, the old ways and the old person has to die. That's what this is saying. It's transformation, right? And I feel like, you know, this is your time to shine, right? Because the collective North Node is in Aries. And, you know, whenever we have the collective North Node in our personal North Node, it's like a period of graduation. There are blessings to be given or, you know, corrections. And I feel like most of you are getting it. Like the Aries North Node is going to change into Pisces next year. So we have a few more months of this. But I feel like a lot of you have learned a lot. You've learned to see things in a new light and are able to like pivot and change direction in whatever direction you need to move into. Let's look at your timeline cards. You've got the Fool card upright. You've got the Nine of Pentacles upright, and you've got the Five of Cups. So what I'm seeing here is with this Fool card, the Fool is about a new kind of exuberance, like going out into the world, changing direction. And I like to describe it as like a childlike exuberance and innocence and enthusiasm, not childish. And at any stage of our lives, we can embody this, where I think, you know, most people can relate to, they could have been a certain age, not even a child, but like somewhere in adulthood, where something happened. You started a new relationship, you started a new job or career or something, and you got this breath of fresh air. It's almost like you hit the restart button, right? And I feel like that's what you North Node and Aries, a lot of you are learning to do that, and it is like a process. Now, one of the things that you're learning is you're learning to stand in your power while you're enjoying life, like with this Nine of Pentacles. Like, it's one thing to be able to stand in your power, and there's another thing to stand in your power and be comfortable with it. And I think that's what you're moving toward. Like, for example, the first time a North Node in Aries or the first house has to set boundaries or put someone in their place, they do it and they feel more empowered, but it's very uncomfortable. Now, the more you do that and you stand in your power, you get very comfortable with working with these energies. And I feel like a lot of you are, doing that, right? What you want to be aware of is you want to be aware of not obsessing over things that have disappointed you. And that could be in friendships, it could be in relationships, it could be in jobs, it could be in various choices. Not to obsess, because there is a way out. And it's a matter of focus. Are you going to focus on, with this Five of Cups, are you going to focus on the spilt 2 cups? Or are you going to focus on the 3 cups that are still there for you? So it's a matter of this first half of September is there's going to be something that is it could cause you to change your focus, and you want to make sure always look at the glass is half full. Okay, so you want to have that kind of optimistic outlook, especially when it comes to emotional wounds, because we learn very valuable lessons through our challenges, more so than our triumphs and our wins, right? And so I think that most of you are on this upswing. Just beware not to focus on the negative emotionally and kind of focus on the positive. Now, your 2 advice cards are, you've got the World card reversed and you've got the King of Swords upright. Now, this is where the challenge could come in, and this is where why I say that the 5 of Cups is kind of giving you this heads up in your focus. This King of Swords is referring to your South Node in Libra, okay? Swords and all the air signs, Libra is one of the signs that rules these swords, right? You want to make sure that you are keeping your mind in check and you're focusing on, as I said, on the right things, not focusing on the negative, not focusing on things that have happened in the past in order to move forward, right? And the way you're going to do that is remember that this World card reversed is very, very positive. Anytime you see the World card in a reading, it is one of the cards that's positive reversed. But this is something where you have the power to turn this around. You are the one that can turn this around. And that's part of your self-empowerment journey. When you choose the correct things, when you choose to set boundaries, when you choose to empower yourself, when you choose to make decisions that are in your best interest, okay, and not worrying about what other people think or say. When you do that, you are turning this World card upright. And so that's what this is all about, that, if you can do this, and the thing is, just the first 2 weeks, stay focused on the positive, learn from the negative, and you learn from, you're not going to repeat those same patterns, right? And when you do that, you're going to find that transformation is there for you. It's right there at all times. Anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value in it. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like a personal tarot reading based on your astrological chart, there's going to be a link to my website in the description box below. With that, I will say thank you, and we'll see you on some more videos. Many blessings. Okay, North Node in Taurus and or the 2nd house. Okay, so the theme card that popped out for you is the reversed King of Swords. And when I saw this along with the timeline cards, I realized that what's going to happen the first 2 weeks of October is there's going to be a challenge to do with communication and conflict. So it's going to be a combination, and it's going to be conflict through communication. And it's going to be a little bit challenging. The energy is trying to kind of suck you into something that is taking you off course a little bit. So it's a little bit of a challenge, and this is the heads up. So I see some, like, it could be like harsh communication or some sort of a negative communication. And then on your timeline cards, you've got the Five of Wands here, which is like some sort of conflict or competition. And then you've got the Queen of Wands as well as the King of Wands reversed. Both of these are reversed. What I feel like is happening is I feel like that the energy in this is very like fire signs. I feel like these are representing people within this situation. Probably a fire sign, okay? So probably like an Aries, Sagittarius, Leo energy that I'm getting, right, regarding this. And what's happening is you're being tested the first 2 weeks of October, where to see if you're truly kind of standing in your power, standing in your independence. And I feel like most of you will do that. The way you're supposed to handle this is, I'm getting with these cards that are the wands, the King of Wands and the Queen of Wands. The energy is like diffusing the situation, right? So when something arises where there's some sort of a conflict, especially verbal conflict, there's a way to, you can engage it, right? And sometimes that's like pouring kind of fuel on the fire. And sometimes that's necessary. Sometimes you have to, go after whatever this is. But in this case, I'm getting that you should stand in your power and diffuse it. It's almost like, don't let it trigger you, like ignore it to the best ability that you can, meaning that, like, obviously if you have to respond to an email or something, do so, but there's a way to do it that's diffusing the situation, right? And there's going to be this very strong desire to get in and mix it up in this, right? That's going to be the desire for you. And you don't want to do that in this situation. You have to do the things necessary. Like I said, send the communication, send the email or text or whatever. But there's a way to do it that kind of diffuses the situation. Now, your two advice cards are, you've got the Emperor card and you've got the Nine of Cups upright. The Emperor card is saying, like, stand in your power. This is a person of authority. This is a person who's mature and who is standing in their power. It's like when you get to a certain level in your life where you can rise above the pettiness of people and situations. You're rising above, like, you see, like, kings and emperors don't get involved in the petty squabbles of peasants, right? Is that kind of an energy. Not an elitist, but you're standing in your power. It's like this is above you, and you're going to see that. And if you can stand in your power and diffuse the situation and not kind of get in there and try to mix it up, you're going to see it's going to work a lot better. And then you've got the Nine of Cups over here, which is like emotional fulfillment. And what you're going to see is that I feel like when you do this, there's going to be some sort of reward for you in the current moment, like as you do this, and then it's going to reverberate into the future. It's like this dual kind of blessing that I'm seeing, right? So you're going to feel it right away that it's going to be, a positive thing. And then, as I said, it's going to be some like benefit later on. But really what this is that this is emotional fulfillment because you are learning to, it's like, rise above something. That's what I'm picturing for you. It's that, not that you're not running away, you're not hiding, but it's like you're rising above it. That's a whole different energy. And that's what this is all about. So my heads up for you is, resist getting into or letting people drag you into any sort of petty squabbles. Rise above it, diffuse the situation. There's a lot of power in that, and resist that desire to kind of get in there and, get in the mud and the muck with him, okay? Anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value in it. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like a personal tarot reading based on your astrological chart, there's going to be a link in the description box below. With that, I'll say thank you. We'll see you on some more videos. Many blessings. Okay, North Node in Gemini and or the third house. Okay, so the theme card that popped out for you is the Five of Pentacles. And when I saw this, what the message I got for you, North Nodes in Gemini and or the third house, is that you don't have to go it alone. There are other directions and avenues that you can take, other resources that you can tap into the first 2 weeks of October. And what I'm seeing for a lot of you is that there is this thing going on that has to do with a balancing of work and career and relationships. There's this kind of push-pull thing that's going on. And a lot of you feel like there's this feeling of like you don't know where to turn. You don't know kind of what direction to take. And it's like, a lot of it has to do with your South Node in Sagittarius of the 9th house. Let's get some more clarity. We'll look at your timeline cards. So you've got the Lovers card reversed. You've got the 8 of Pentacles upright. And you've got the Hierophant reversed. Now, the Hierophant, this is referring to your South Node in the 9th house and or Sagittarius, where this is about, you know, in your past, you were concerned with, you know, all things Sagittarius in 9th house, which was finding a singular path, finding your philosophy, your ways of doing things. It's like a tradition, the orthodox way of the way I've always done things, right? And in this lifetime, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to find new paths, you know, and more than one path, okay? But the desire is you just want to find one singular path to follow. And so what's happening this the first half of October is there a lot of you are feeling this pull between like work, career, you know, starting a business and relationships. And there's this thing where you could feel like it's not flowing in the best way possible. The secret for you in this is to be flexible in your solution making, to be flexible and very pliant in how you approach situations. And so what it's doing is this push-pull you're feeling is getting you to look at new ways of doing things. And that's why I said you have lots of resources of people and things around you that you can tap into. And you might want to think like, well, maybe I should take this direction regarding work and career. Maybe I should do this other thing regarding, you know, relationships, friends, family, and romantic relationships. And what you're doing is you realize, wow, okay, like I can take many different approaches for things in my life. That's what it is, like finding different solutions for different things. Because a lot of times what we do is, especially with this placement, is we could get stuck in kind of always in everything we do, work, you know, career, family, friends, love relationships, kind of doing the same thing. Whereas we can do different things. And that's what this is really saying. Now, it's a really positive thing because what I see is that you have this opportunity between now and the end of the year to really start making progress in a forward movement in something that is positive. Now, we'll look at your advice cards. You've got the Chariot here. This is a card of movement and also a card of balance. When we're balanced, we can move forward. If you know you see the white sphinx and you see the black sphinx, if one of those is out of balance, the Chariot goes off course or it goes around in circles, right? When they're both balanced and can be controlled, they can move forward, right? Now, the key for you in this is, the key is to approach the first half of October in, as best you can, a non-emotional way. Okay? Because remember, your south node is a fire sign, Sagittarius, right? Very passionate, very, belief oriented. And so Sagittarius in ninth house, as I said, is a fire sign and a fire house. And so what you want to do is you want to watch your emotions and put the energy toward your thinking and logic into your communication skills. Tap into that north node in Gemini, which is an air sign, okay, ruled by Mercury. Use your logic and your mind in order to navigate this first half. And you'll find that the answers are there. Oh, okay, I can treat work and career like this. Okay, my personal relationships I can handle like this, and you just start sorting it out with your mind, because right now there could be too many emotions flowing and it's hard to get a read on any one thing. But when you can do that, you're going to see that you can really move forward, and this is a chance to really do that in the next 1 to 3 months here. Anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value in it. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like a personal tarot reading based on your astrological chart, there's going to be a link in the description box below. With that, I'll say thank you. We'll see you on some more videos. Many blessings. Okay, North Node in Cancer and or the 4th house. Okay, the theme card that popped out for you is the King of Cups reversed. And this is your card, North Node in Cancer of the 4th house. What I'm seeing here for the first half of October is there is going to be a situation that could be, it could trigger you into old habits and back into your Capricorn or 10th house south node. And what it is that the key for you is staying strong in your heart space, staying emotionally present through this. Now, what's going to happen is we'll get into your timeline cards a little bit to get the clarity, and it'll explain more here. You've got the 4 of Wands reversed. Okay, you've got the Queen of Swords reversed, and you've got the Magician card upright. So what I feel like's happening is that there is something that could be regarding home, okay, with this 4 of Wands, or some sort of like celebration. But the number 4 has to do with stability, okay? So it rules like the home and house and whatnot. And, it's the 4th sign of the zodiac, Cancer, right? I feel like this is regarding something about to do with your home or your well-being, or your feeling that, well-being, right? And what it's going to be is that there could be some sort of communication that comes in that could be a little bit emotionally like harsh and could affect you emotionally. And that's where this Queen of Swords comes in. I feel like this is representing like an actual person in this situation. Could be male, female, or any gender, right? But the Queen of Swords is a different energy than the King of Swords. It's a little bit more like, I would say, kind of touchy and personal. And so I feel like there's going to be a communication that comes in, and it is going to be something to where it could trigger you, but in a way that could, I'm feeling like almost like a shutting down of your emotional center a little bit, and kind of like a hardening. It's like the Capricorn of building a wall around your heart to protect it. Now, I feel like a lot of you can really pass this test, but what it is the reason it's coming down is it's strengthening you in your emotional self. It's one thing to begin to feel all of your emotions. It's one thing to express all of your emotions, but when we're challenged with something, can we keep our heart open? Can we keep emotionally flexible? Can we protect our emotions without closing our heart? So that's what this is about. So, it's about taking all of the strides that you've done to learn to be open-hearted, and now you're facing this challenge, and you need to keep yourself open at the same time of protecting yourself. And that's like a tricky thing to do. That's where the magician comes in, right? The magician is a card of mastery. It's a card, the magician is master of all of the elements. Okay. And this is telling you that you have what it takes to do this. It's a very fine thing where you can take this situation as it comes, and it's something communication wise is going to affect you emotionally. So what are you going to do about it? Don't block it out of you. Feel it. You absorb it and you feel it, and you take some deep breaths, and now it's time to let it pass through you and transmute it. You're keeping your heart open, and then you can address the situation. Do you have to communicate with this person? Maybe you don't have to. If you don't have to communicate, don't. If you're forced to communicate in some way, can you communicate it in a way that is strong, but also, as I said, keeping your heart open? If you have to send that email, if you have to make that call or send that text or respond to that, can you do it from a position of strength, but also a position of open-heartedness? And that's what this is saying. This is a skill building for you, okay? This is a skill building, because when we begin to follow our soul path on our north node, it's like we start as, children, right? We start with basics, right? But then now it's time where, okay, now we're going to see how you're going to do when there's a little bit of a challenge, right? But all this is doing is it's causing you to grow to a higher form of like mastery, personal mastery, right? Okay, so let's look at your advice cards here. You've got the star card upright, and you've got the Six of Swords reversed. Now, the star is a great card to get, and that's why I said that this is like, take this whole thing as a compliment, because for most of you, you've been able to do the basics in kind of embodying your north node in Cancer or the fourth house. Most of you have done that. You're able to like, okay, I feel my feelings, I accept my feelings, I'm able to be comfortable within my emotions, right? But now what you're doing is you're taking this to another level. And the star is saying that when you do this and you're able to learn how to address challenging situations emotionally while keeping open emotionally, is a huge skill. And this is going to be like very karmically great for you moving forward on your path. And then the Six of Swords is saying, the challenge is don't get sucked into old patterns of, I'm going to be hardened again in my emotions and I'm going to just block this, or I'm not going to feel it for some reason, because it could keep you in a pattern, and that's what this Six of Swords is saying. It can keep you in a pattern of not moving away from things that you should move away from, right? So if you can stay in your power and keep open-hearted through this, whatever it is, realize that if you get sucked into it, it could keep you in a pattern, right? And so that's what the heads up is. It's like there's something very beneficial for you if you're able to do it, and something a little bit negative if you're not able to do it. It could keep you kind of stuck in things, right? Anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value in it. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like a personal tarot reading based on your astrological chart, there's going to be a link in the description box below. With that, I'll say thank you. We'll see you on some more videos. Many blessings. A North Node in Leo and or the 5th house. Okay, so the theme card that popped out for you is the reversed Five of Wands. And what I feel like is that there is a time. What's happening the second or first half of October, I should say, is that this is a time of moving past some conflict. Like I see making progress of moving past it, but at the same time, it's like it's like coming to terms with some sort of a conflict that has happened, coming to terms and like making peace with it. And that could mean like actually making peace with the person or people or situation, or it could just be just making peace with the overall situation, like, you know, you handled it to the best of your ability. But I feel like there's this period of like kind of moving away and like healing from that. Your timeline cards, you've got the Three of Cups upright, you've got the Knight of Pentacles upright, and you've got the Four of Wands reversed. So what I'm seeing here is that this Three of Cups is saying that whatever this conflict was, or even is something to where it's getting you to be more emotionally intimate with yourself, with your life, and with the people around you. So it's almost like, you know, if you see that these maidens are here and their cups are intertwined, this is like, you know, emotional connections and things that are intertwined. And the reason this is significant is because, remember, your south node is in Aquarius and or the 11th house, which is the sign of detachment, emotional detachment. And this is a lifetime for you to get involved in your deep feelings and emotions, get involved with those around you, wear your heart on the sleeves. You're a north node in Leo and or the 5th house, right? So to be very emotionally connected. And I feel like a lot of you are learning that. Take the opportunity this first half of October to get in there and to, I just feel like for a lot of you, there's going to be this opportunity to become connected emotionally, intimately with your life and those around you. Now, the way this is going to happen is it's going to happen through a pause. Um, like you're going to take a pause in your life. And that's what this Knight of Pentacles is saying, right? The Knights are all cards of movement, but the Knight of Pentacles is the least amount of movement. It's very slow, steady, methodical movement. And that, along with one of your advice cards here, the Eight of Wands reversed, this is saying like this is a period of where you're able to like slow down and kind of this, you're going to be able to connect more intimately with your life, your path, and those that are around you within your life, because of the fact that you're going to feel like a slowing down period. And this slowing down period is so important because you're in this process of transforming. And it's an important process of getting you to the highest version of yourself. It's like you can't go from being completely detached. This is like a buffer zone, right? Or it's like this intermediate stage. You don't go from being completely detached to something by like shooting a rocket and going completely in the opposite direction where you're fully all in, right? The intermediate stage is what you're in right now. You're not detaching, you're in this, you're becoming intimately involved in your life and the people around you, but you're not fully going into it yet. It's like this process. And so that's why it's this intermediate phase that's like very, very important. But for some of you, it might feel like, oh, things are kind of going a bit slow, or they're feeling a little bit awkward. Okay. But this is just part of this whole thing. Just kind of go with it. The other advice card that came up for you is the death card. And if you watch my channel, you know that all of the so-called scary cards, you know, the devil, death, the tower, and all that, they're not bad cards. They're just energies, right? And so death is all about transformation. For a lot of you, the old you is going away, and this during this period, this new you is coming in, right? Like the caterpillar turning into the butterfly. There's that, cocoon phase, all right? And that's what this can feel like. Now, the interesting thing is with this Four of Wands reversed, what this can feel like, and this is like kind of a heads up for you, is the Four of Wands is, yes, a card of celebration. It's also a card of stability. Fours are a number of stable, and you think of four legs of a table, the four corners of a house, okay? It's about stability. What this can feel like for a lot of you is, it could feel like, you aren't stable in this energy yet. It can feel like there's nothing to celebrate yet within this, because you're kind of looking at, when you start going into this energy, you could look at the end, like I said, where you could rush through that cocoon phase and you want to go straight to the end. But this is very important because you're in this process of transformation. The key here is to allow yourself time to connect deeply and passionately to your life, to your dreams, connect to those around you on an emotional level, and not be emotionally detached. That's the key for you. So it's almost like if you rush ahead, you could skip this whole important step. And that's why it could feel like for a lot of you, like, things might be stagnant, or I feel like they're not as stable as they could be, or they feel awkward. When you feel like that, or if you feel like that, just go into your inner self, your passions, your emotions, your desires, and you're going to see that, oh, okay, that's what I'm supposed to do. You're doing inner work basically during this period of time, and this is part of your transformation, so it's super important. Now, what's happening is you're leaving a lot of this conflict behind, and the conflict really was, do I get completely involved and be the director of my life path, or do I stay detached and do I stay a kind of observer of my life? Okay, so this is that conflict that I was talking about, right? You were conflicted inside you, and now you are, taking this and you are leaving the conflict behind and able to go more into this like exuberance of emotional connection within yourself and with others. Anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value in it. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like a personal tarot reading based on your astrological chart, there's going to be a link in the description box below. With that, I'll say thank you. We'll see you on some more videos. Many blessings. A North Node in Virgo and or the 6th house. Okay, so the theme card that popped out for you is the Three of Wands upright. And when I saw this card, I was thinking that this really involved your South Node in Pisces in the 12th house, as well as your North Node in Virgo and or the 6th house. And it's all about perspective here. And I feel like the first half of October, what you're learning to do is you're making sense of parts of your life through a larger perspective, but in a very practical way. So when you look at this card here, okay, so Pisces would be, in the 12th house would be this big focus, like focused on everything in the universe, as opposed to Virgo, which is very focused on the minutia of things, right? So it's a different, this is like a wide focus. But the reason I say it's both is because I feel like your South Node in Pisces or the 12th house is helping you to open up your eyes, but you're using this perspective because, like, sometimes, for example, if a human was able to see all of the spectrums of light, because we have a limited, spectrum of light that we can see as humans, right? If we were to like see them all at the same time, it would blow us away. I mean, we'd just be like, I mean, it'd be like an overload, right? And that's kind of like the Pisces, energy at its highest. It's like it can see everything. It penetrates into, the deepest corners of the universe, and so, but it has to be used in a practical, focused way, and that's what I see happening for this first half of October. Is I feel like your ability to see the big picture is going to help you, but you're going to use it in a very practical way. Now, what this has to do with is it has to do with some emotional choices that are on the table for you in your life right now. Now, let's look at your timeline cards. You've got the Eight of Wands reversed. You've got the Page of Cups reversed. And you've got the Seven of Cups. Okay, so I feel like for a lot of you, what's happening is that the first half of October, there's some sort of emotional information or emotional communication that's coming into you. And it's getting you to rethink your position. It's getting you to rethink your direction. It's getting you to rethink, your path, right? And this communication it could be, it doesn't necessarily have to be negative. It could be, it's just something that is coming in, and it's changing what you thought you wanted, what you thought you needed, what you thought you should do, okay? And it's causing you to, with this Seven of Cups, you have to make some choices. You have to make some emotional choices in what direction to take. So this emotional information that's coming in, this emotional communication, and this could be coming from internally, it could be coming externally from other people or situations, but it's causing, you'll know what I'm talking about when you see it's getting you to rethink your position and direction. When that happens, what can happen is you don't want to let it confuse you emotionally. So that is the challenge. Don't let it baffle you or confuse you. What you want to do is, in order to make emotional choices, is you want to, in a very practical way, take some deep breaths, and you want to get a higher perspective and look at things from a higher perspective, but logically and methodically. Okay, very Virgo or sixth house. What is the best thing to do? Use your logic. Okay, so what you're doing is you're tapping into Virgo, you're tapping into the planet Mercury, as opposed to Pisces and Neptune, right? So when this comes in, if you feel like you're getting overwhelmed emotionally or confused, stop yourself, take some deep breaths, and say, okay, I need to get a perspective on this. And you need to get a wide perspective, and you also need to focus in on things. And when you focus in and you methodically go through that with your mind, tapping into that north node, with Mercury ruling your north node, you're going to see that the answers will come to you, especially if you leave emotions and confusion out of this whole picture, right? Now, your advice cards are, you've got the Five of Pentacles reversed, and you've got the Four of Cups upright. Now, in doing this whole thing where you have to get a proper perspective, one of the things you want to do is you want to make sure that you aren't relying on other people and how they think and feel about the situation. You want to be independent, because the one of the thoughts you could have is, oh, I need to run to this person, or I need to get advice from this person. It's almost like an overwhelming thing. So I'm out in the cold and I need to get some sort of comfort and advice. Okay, you can do this. This is something that you have to do. You have to use your mind. You don't want to run to this person or whatever to tell you what to do. So that's what the heads up is. Don't do that. You want to tap into, you have the answers within you, within your mind and within your logic, right? So you're going to feel like, you could feel like you're out in the cold and you need help, right? But you got this, right? Just try to solve this through your own perspective of the big picture and the focused picture. And then this Four of Cups here is the other thing that could happen is you don't want to focus in on the wrong things, right? You know that there's always, if you're not finding the answer that you need emotionally, okay, if you're not finding the answer, keep looking, because what can happen, it's almost like when we've all experienced this, right? Where you lose something, right? And you look all around for it. Okay, you're looking and you're looking, you look everywhere for it. And you're like, I looked everywhere. I don't know what else to do. I looked everywhere, right? But then we've all done this. We look one more time. We go and we look one more time and we find it. That's what this is saying. Don't give up. You know, there could be this feeling of, well, I don't know what the answer is. I don't know what choices to make. And just keep at it, because just like that thing that was hidden that you found because you were persistent, if you're persistent looking for the answers emotionally, they are there 100%, right? But remember, use your mind, use your logic, tap into that planet Mercury, and you're going to find the answers there. Anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value in it. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like a personal tarot reading based on your astrological chart, there's going to be a link in the description box below. With that, I'll say thank you. We'll see you on some more videos. Many blessings. North Node in Libra and or the 7th house. Okay, so the theme card that popped out for you for the first 2 weeks of October is the Hanged Man reversed. And what I'm thinking, like for you for the first 2 weeks, is there is going to be a massive perspective shift in some area of your life. And this makes sense because our new moon solar eclipse is going to be at 10 degrees of Libra, right? So all of the Libra north nodes are going to feel this eclipse. And I feel like for most of you, what this is going to be is this is going to be a complete perspective shift in one or more areas of your life. So let's see how this is going to play out. We'll look at your timeline cards. You've got the Knight of Swords upright. You've got the Page of Swords upright, and you've got the Page of Wands reversed. Now, the pages, we'll start with those cards, because the pages a lot of times are messages coming in. And it's interesting because the Page of Wands is referring to your south node in Aries and or the first house. It's like a fiery energy. And then the Page of Swords is referring to your north node, the air sign Libra. And what I'm feeling like is you're learning about the proper use of your energy. I think that, like, even though that there's going to be this perspective shift in different areas of your life for all of you, what you're essentially learning is the proper use of your energy. Because what do I mean by that? We can approach life and situations with different energy fields. So if we're a fire sign, like Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries, we could come at life with that more kind of fiery energy from our solar plexus. But with the Page of Swords is saying, we can also approach life going head first, like using our mind in balance with our heart and our kind of will, okay, our personal power. And that's what this is saying. This is saying, like, sometimes we have to approach life like, with a cool, calm, collected head, and not so much with fiery energy. And I think that that's what a lot of you are learning to approach situations in life. And I think that there's going to be this major shift in a lot of you in the way that you are going about your everyday life. And it's this energy thing that's going on. Now, the Knight of Swords over here, again, what this is saying is that a lot of you are going to have the ability to move quickly on your path into new areas and new realms of being. Here's what I mean by that. What I've noticed is when people have a south node in Aries of the first house, um, things tend to happen for them either, for good or not so good very quickly. The reason for that is that Aries and that energy of Mars is a very kind of impatient, it can be an impatient energy. So what happens is when a person that has a Aries south node, when they approach life and they actually do well, their blessings come fast, okay? But also if they're going down a road that they're not supposed to go, the you get a message right away, okay? So it's very quick. But what I'm seeing for you is a lot of you have the ability to move ahead quickly on your path and like make great progress forward. And it's going to have to do with this perspective shift. For each person, it's going to be different areas of life. But remember, the key is the use of energy, keeping emotions in check, keeping your inner passions in check, and approaching the situation from that more Libra, balanced, cool, calm, and collected, like using your mind. Now, your advice cards are, you've got the Queen of Cups reversed, and you've got the Fool card upright. And this is why I say this new beginning. The Fool card is a great card, okay? This is a card of childlike exuberance and wonder and optimism. And it's like, it is the card of like new beginnings, of like forging out. And it's like, we've all experienced in this life where for whatever reason, we got a new relationship, we got a new job or something to that effect. And it's like all of a sudden we felt renewed, And that's what I feel like a lot of you are going to feel, this renewal, especially after October 2nd with this eclipse in Libra, right? Now, here's the interesting thing is I feel like there is going to be an emotional person the first 2 weeks that is going to be in your life. And what's going to happen is it's a little bit of a test for you. So I feel like this emotional person, they could be male or female, but they have a lot of like water sign energy. So that would be like Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, okay? And I feel like what's going to happen is there's going to be one or more chances to where something happens emotionally within your life. And what you want to do is you want to react to it in a way that's not very like Aries or first house, not very Mars, okay? You want to act, from a more like thinking standpoint, okay? And so this is like a little test for you, as opposed to with that kind of fiery energy. And what that's going to do is this has the ability to do this perspective shift, and you're going to start to see, I feel like there's going to be more than one instance, but it's going to come from an emotional standpoint, and it's going to kind of hit you emotionally, and it could come from various people in your life, various situations. And what you're going to have the opportunity to do is to approach it from a little bit more like, let me think the best way to handle this. Remember, Libra, balance, the scales. Maybe I'll think this through as opposed to impulsive energy. And that's the key word. Don't do anything impulsive with this situation or situations that comes up. Weigh it out. Use your mind. Use your logic. Use that Aries, fieriness, but use it in very small quantities and let that energy come up into your mind and your logic, okay? And when you do that, I think that you're going to see at the end of the next 2 weeks in October, and especially at the end of the month, you're going to see this kind of new beginning that's going to come to happen in your life, right? Anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value in it. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like a personal tarot reading based on your astrological chart, there's going to be a link to my website in the description box below. With that, I'll say thank you. We'll see you on some more videos. Many blessings. Okay, North Node in Scorpio and or the 8th house. Okay, so the theme card that popped out for you is the reversed King of Cups. What I'm feeling like for you Scorpio North Nodes or North Nodes in the 8th house is there's going to be the first 2 weeks of October. There's going to be some intense emotional situations that come up in your life, okay? It could be from one area or from different areas. And this is actually a positive because there is, on the other side of this, some real positive things that can come to you, some real like positive accomplishments through this. But it is going to be a little bit intense. The overall feeling of this is that when these happen, it's almost like a lot of you are going to say like, I don't want to deal with this right now. I don't feel like dealing with this, because, your South Node in Taurus in the 2nd house just wants things straightforward and simple. Why can't life just be straightforward and simple instead of messy, right? And, with your North Node, it's forcing you to kind of get down and dirty into situations, right? But so that's the way it's going to feel, but there's a major push ahead if you can make it through all this. Let's get some more clarity. We'll look at your timeline cards. So you've got the High Priestess reversed. You've got the Devil card reversed, and you've got the Knight of Cups reversed. Okay. So sandwiched in between the Knight of Cups reversed and the High Priestess reversed is this Devil card reversed. And what I'm feeling like for this is that at the root of these situations, these emotional situations, there's some sort of fear or anxiety about it. It's like the fear of going deep into these situations. It's like an uncomfortableness of going into whatever situation this is for you. And the High Priestess here and the Knight of Cups over here is your higher self, you're the best version of yourself that's trying to come out through this situation. Because the High Priestess she's comfortable in her own emotions. She's comfortable with other people's emotions. She's able to go to the black pillar and the white pillar. She's balanced, right? She's able to go deep. She's able to tap into the deep complexities of herself and the psychology of life, okay? And then the Knight of Cups is the romantic dreamer. It's keeping that it's almost like this emotional flexibility, this very pliable pliable emotions to where it's very resilient, okay? Like someone who's just like kind of like the constant, optimist, okay? So at your highest self and your highest version of yourself, this is what awaits you, right? But what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to, first past the realm of the devil. Now, if you watch my channel for any length of time, everyone always knows I talk about the so-called scary card like the devil, and then here you have the death card, okay? They are not bad cards. They are just energies, energies. They're not talking about literally the devil. They're not talking about literal death. But what they are their energies. And what you find is when these energies are gone through and dealt with, there is a lot of positivity on the other end. So what is it you have to do in order to do this, to get to the highest version of yourself? Well, as I said, you have the death card over here, which is transformation, and you have the star card. Whenever you see the star card in a reading, for me, it's something that's very karmic, and it means that going through this situation, there could be like major karmic blessings that can come to you and will come to you, right? Now, the death card, as I said, is about transformation. There is an old part of you that needs to be dealt with and kind of and broken away from. And I'm the energy I'm picking up is like there's this old stubborn part of you that a lot of you are holding on to, and it's that like that Taurus south node or second house, south node, where it's just very kind of stubborn and it's resisting transformation. If you can allow yourself to transform, and what that means is it means diving into this situation or situations, going into it to understand it, and don't be afraid to go into it and to deal with it, to try to understand it, because there is a lot of wisdom in dealing with these kinds of situations in your life, and that's really going to get you to the highest version of yourself. So there's something that wants to transform in you, and I feel like, as I said, it's that last bit of kind of stubbornness of wanting to just stay in that energy of Taurus or the second house. And when you do that with the star card here, you're going to see that there is this possibility of a new version of yourself. And I feel like especially after the first 2 weeks of October or at the end of October, a lot of you are going to be like, I feel different. I feel more whole. And I've dropped the fears that I had of diving into complex situation. Remember, complex situations, complexity in your life, and diving into it to understand it is good for you. Okay, there is a balance between, too much complexity and drama. That is true, right? But that's one of the things that you're learning, is you're learning to just go into these situations in order to understand them at a deeper level, and then you're going to get to this highest version of yourself. Okay. Anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value in it. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like a personal tarot reading based on your astrological chart, there's going to be a link in the description box below. With that, I'll say thank you. We'll see you on some more videos. Many blessings. Okay, North Node in Sagittarius and or the 9th house. Okay, so the theme card that popped out for you is your card, the King of Wands. This rules all the fire signs, including Sagittarius and the 9th house. And what I feel like is that there is something that is going to occur the first 2 weeks that could be a little bit of a kind of a shock or a shakeup. And what it's doing is it's getting you to move toward a higher version of yourself. Okay, and that's what's represented by this card here, the King of Wands. Let's look at the timeline cards. You've got the Queen of Swords reversed. You've got the Page of Cups reversed, and you've got the Tower card. And the Tower card, I feel like there's some sort of a shakeup, and it's regarding a person who, this card, this Queen of Swords here reversed, this is representing an actual person, and also you as this is representing your South Node in Gemini or the 3rd house. Okay, so it's like this battle between like your highest version and an old version of you. But I feel like this is an actual person, and what's going to happen is there's some sort of emotional communication that's going to come from this person. And this person, even though this is a Queen of Swords, it could be, any sex, any gender, okay, male, female, or any gender, right? So for each of you, it'll be different. But the flavor of the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords is slightly different. This is a little bit more of an emotional communication that's personal. Okay, so it's something that is very personal. And what this is going to cause, this communication, is it's going to cause this little bit of a shakeup in in your life. Like it's going to cause you to have to see things, and the things that you want to make sure of is you want to make sure that as you're perceiving this situation and taking it all in, you want to make sure that you are forming your way to deal with the way you're thinking about it through you, and not from other outside sources. Okay, so this is going to be a very personal thing, and it's actually going to be a positive. But the reason this is happening is this is like this adjustment that's happening for most of you North Nodes in Sag or the ninth house. And it's this adjustment to this higher version of yourself. At the time that it's happening, because I feel like this situation is, it's going to expose major distractions in your life. Okay, whatever that might be, worried about this or thinking about that too much. And it's going to, when you see this for what it is, or these situations, it could be more than one situation, for what it is, initially it's going to be a little bit of like, whoa, like a shock. But then you're going to see like, okay, man, these are just like distractions in my life. It's distracting me from my true self and my true path. That's what this is happening for. Your advice cards here, you've got the Judgment card, and you've got the Temperance card. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. The Judgment card is like, it's like a wake-up call. It's a cosmic wake-up call. And it's like waking from one state of being, from a state of deadness, into a new life type of a thing, okay? And that's what this shakeup is going to do. That's why it's going to be positive, because it's going to show you, and it's going to expose things that aren't necessary in your life, things that are distractions, as I said. And then the Temperance is, this is what I'm saying with you becoming the highest version of yourself. Okay, this is like an inner alchemy that's going on, because it's like when you take there's a tree who's like, in fall, it starts to losing its leaves, right? And then a big windstorm comes through, right? And all the leaves that were just kind of barely hanging on are blown away and blown off. And that's what the energy of this is that it's a positive. It's blowing the unneeded, unnecessary, and unwanted things out of your life, first by exposing it, and then blowing it out of your life, just like a windstorm that's coming in. And yeah, this is like an inner alchemy that's going in, because once you understand this, and like, oh, okay, I really didn't need that. I didn't need them. I didn't need this situation. It's not for my highest good and happiness. Then this is the inner alchemy that goes on. And this is you getting to that more like better version of yourself. But yeah, very powerful, transformative month. What you don't want to do when this happens, and this is a big thing that's coming in right now. The reason I said the Queen of Swords reversed is because it could cause one of two things, or both of these things. It could cause some inner mental confusion if you allow it to, and it also can cause a little bit of like internal bitterness within you if you allow it. And so all you want to do is, don't blame the situation or blame yourself, but you want to look at the situation for what it is and recognize it, that you really didn't need it anyway, type of a thing, right? And that's what needs to be recognized. And that's where, the wisdom of Sagittarius in the ninth house comes in. But yeah, very powerful first half of October for you. Anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you. You found some value in it. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like a personal tarot reading based on your astrological chart, there's going to be a link in the description box below. With that, I'll say thank you. We'll see you on some more videos. Many blessings. Okay, North Node in Capricorn and or the 10th house. Okay. So the theme card that popped out for you is the Eight of Wands reversed. And what I feel like is going on is there is a situation that's going to come in, and it's going to be regarding communication and emotions the first 2 weeks of October. And I think for a lot of you, it's going to be in the realm of like work or career. Even if you are a stay-at-home parent, or even if you aren't working right now, this still applies. But it's going to be something that it's going to apply something that you are doing every day on an everyday basis. So even if it's not your job or career, it's going to be something that you're doing on a regular basis. And I feel like there's a situation where there could be a little bit of criticism involved in this, right? Where, you know, this person is like criticizing you or something that you've done, and it's going to cause this like energy fluctuation in you. Okay, so it's going to hit you emotionally, and then it's going to hit your energy field. And this is actually like a positive, because what this is doing is this is spurring you on to more greatness. It's almost like the energy that I'm getting is it's like getting you to move in a positive direction. It's kind of like when we've seen this like play out in like movies a lot of times, TV shows, where something like spurs on a person and they say, you know what, I'm going to show you. And then they dig in and do it. Or it's almost like, you see this, you've heard this before, like, there's a breakup, and then the person gets I'm going to go get my revenge body, and then they go out there and then they work out, or, like it's that type of an energy where it's going to, whatever this criticism is, it's going to trigger most of you into action. Okay, that's the key. It's going to trigger you into some sort of action. But the key here is that you're going to feel it emotionally, and then you want to use something with the energy. Okay, so we'll get into your timeline card so you can understand and have more clarity. You've got the Ten of Swords reversed. Okay, you've got the King of Swords reversed, and you've got the Page of Wands reversed. So this is what I'm talking about here. Okay, this King of Swords, this is like some sort of something critical or criticizing what it is you do, or what you have done, or what you did. Like there's some criticism. And I think that this is representing like an actual person or people, in your life. It could be male, could be female, or any gender. Okay, it doesn't really matter necessarily. But the energy of the King of Swords is more kind of like, it's going to feel a little bit kind of like it's going to hit you cold, all right? Because you have, your south nodes in Cancer in the fourth house. You're touchy feely. You have strong emotional intelligence, and so you're gonna feel it, as I said, emotionally. But what you don't want to do is, it's critical that you use the energy from those emotions in a proper way. What do I mean by that? Well, when something hits us emotionally, we can let the energy go into us where we get mopey, we get kind of like really depressed or something like that. Or when something, hits us emotionally, we can take that energy, and this is the fuel I'm talking about, where we use it for fuel, and we say, okay, you know what? I'm going to show you, and it's this triggering to this energizing. Okay, so this is like literally like rocket fuel for your life if you allow it to be, and that's how you want to approach this. When this comes in, yes, feel your feelings. It's natural. Don't block them. It comes in, but then use that energy to spur you forward. And then with this Ten of Swords, what this is saying is, reversed is, okay, this way of being has served its time. Okay, it needs to be dealt with and got rid of. Okay, because at the end of the day, this is like an ending, right? But when the Ten of Swords is reversed, there's, instead of the black cloudy skies up here, you've got the dawn on top. Okay, so this is like before, it's like the saying, it's always, darkest before the dawn. There is a way out of it. And so this is just getting you to, like, it's literally steering most of you into a new direction if you allow it to be fuel for your success. Now, your two advice cards are, you've got the Three of Pentacles reversed, and you've got the Three of Cups upright. Now, the Three of Pentacles reversed, okay, you can see on the card here, there's an artisan or craftsperson that is working on something, and there are two people that are looking on at this person's work. Do they like the work? Do they not like the work? Are they critical of the work? Are they praising the work? Okay, this is reversed. So I feel like this is something to where it's going to be some sort of a criticism of something that you're doing or you have already done. Okay, and I don't feel like the criticism is valid, and that's what this whole thing is. It's going to be, there may be some validity to it, but it's not completely valid. It's like kind of somewhat unfounded. And that's what, if you allow it, that can trigger you into action, right? To get this like Eight of Wands upright. Now, the Three of Cups here, this is an interesting card telling you, what to do with this whole situation. This is a card of emotional intertwining, which means go into this situation after it hits you, go into it, and I feel like there are resources around you that can be helpful to you. Okay, actual people in your life through this situation. Don't go through this alone. I feel like you need to reach out to friends, family, those who really truly love you. Although this person may be a family member, this King of Swords reversed may be a family member, okay? But I'm talking about other people around you that they're, for emotional support, okay? And they're going to help you. And the reason that they're going to help you is they're going to help you make sure that you have the proper perspective of this and allow the situation to be fuel that's helpful to you, as opposed to, they're there to support you, basically, as opposed to letting that energy, if you're just by yourself and kind of moping about it, right? But this is very positive, and this is, getting you and spurring you on to greater things. For some of you, it could be like, this could be like the last straw where you're like, you know what, I'm going to put my resume out there. I'm going to, show them. But there's better things awaiting for you on the other side, as long as you can let yourself feel the thing that comes in, then use the energy, release it and use the energy in a positive direction. And you're going to see that it's really going to, work out, well for you. Anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value in it. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like a personal tarot reading based on your astrological chart, there's going to be a link in the description box below. With that, I'll say thank you. We'll see you on some more videos. Many blessings. Okay, North Node in Aquarius and or the 11th house. Okay, the theme card that popped out for you is the Eight of Cups. And I feel like this is a really positive reading for you North Nodes in Aquarius and or the 11th house. It's like a lot of you are really making major changes in moving forward in the best version of who you can be and are, but also in just like life in general. So I feel like with this Eight of Cups I feel like there's a lot of emotional baggage that you are the first 2 weeks of October, where you're going to be leaving behind emotional baggage. Like a lot of you are seeing like there's a lot of things you've been carrying emotionally, and you finally are making sense of them for the most part, and it's time to move on from them. It's like you're done kind of dealing with some situation or situations emotionally, and it's time to move on. And you're moving on into a better direction. It's almost like a lot of you are saying, like, I'm just not going to do this anymore. And even though there could be some uncomfortableness in doing it, I feel for the most part, a lot of you are going to feel like relieved. There's like this relief feeling of like, I'm finally going to go in this new direction. Let's get some more clarity. We'll look at your timeline cards. You've got the Wheel of Fortune upright. You've got the Fool card upright. And you've got the Lover's card upright. Now, we'll start with the Fool card over here because it's relating. If you see the Eight of Cups over here, is you see that this person is, has their staff, and they are leaving, and they're on a new journey. They're on a new path. They're leaving emotional baggage behind. And then the Fool card over here, this is about new beginnings. This is about like the freedom and exuberance and that kind of childlike wonder and exuberance that we had, that was like optimistic, of like, when something new, like something new is starting in our life and we're able to transition out. For some of you, that's going to be, we have the Lover's card. It could literally be like, um, you know, embarking on a new relationship or a new job or a new business that you want to start. You're getting those ideas, but there's this sense of newness, within you and within your life. And it's mainly because you're realizing there's things that you're like leaving behind in order to begin this newness. Now, whenever you see, the Wheel of Fortune upright in the reading, I mean, it's, very, very, very good, obviously. And that's what I feel like. This is you. If you allow this could be an upswing in your life, right? It doesn't mean our life is perfect. There's still snags, but for the most part, there's something that if we can leave some things behind that no longer serve us emotionally, this is going to cause us to go in these new directions. But I feel like for all of you, there's these, even if it's on a small scale, as I said, somewhere within your life. Is it a relationship? Is it a new job, a career, starting a job? Is it just a new way of thinking and being? Is it a new way of like feeling self-love? Or is it a new way of sharing your heart? And that's what I really feel like a lot of this is. Because remember, your North Node in Aquarius and or the 11th house is about sharing with others, with the collective, sharing with others on an emotional level, on a spiritual level, on all levels. Let's look at your advice cards to kind of get more clarity on that. So you've got the Three of Cups and you've got the Page of Swords. Now, the Page of Swords, this is a card of communication, but it's also a card of vigilance, of like looking out for something. And what you want to look out for with this new energy, and this is a key to the success of this Wheel of Fortune, what you want to look out for is you want to look out for ways where you can connect emotionally with others at the same level. Okay, so you're leaving that kind of Leo south node in the 5th house behind, where it was kind of like a lone wolf type of energy, like I can do it on my own. And now you're going into Aquarius in the 11th house, which is, as I said, collective, working with others at a close emotional level. So that's the key here, is where can I collaborate with others? Where can I meet others on a heart-to-heart basis, on a mind-to-mind basis, on an energetic basis? How can I intertwine my heart and my gifts with other people's gifts? And that's what this is saying. So that's the key to all of this, because the key is to take this energy and run with it. But the key is, don't do it on your own. If you find yourself through the first 2 weeks of October doing things or presenting things on your own, or as you're going through October of 2024, if you find yourself doing things by yourself or trying to do things by yourself, that's where you're vigilant. Where can I connect with other people? Where can I use my gifts and talents along with others? And this is really great reading. This is like a new beginning. But remember, the other key is, walk away from things that aren't emotionally serving you anymore. Like leave them behind and then move off in this new direction. Anyway, yeah, great reading for the first half of October. I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value in it. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like a personal tarot reading based on your astrological chart, there's going to be a link to my website in the description box below. With that, I'll say thank you. We'll see you on some more videos. Many blessings. Okay, North Node in Pisces and or the 12th house. Okay, yeah, interesting. So the theme card that popped out for you is the reversed Eight of Swords. And when I saw this, what I was thinking was, yes, this is like coming out of a mental prison of our own making, because the card where the maiden is not fully surrounded by the swords, which represent the mind and thinking and logic, right? And her binding is not very tight. She can get out of this at any time, right? So this is all a mental prison of our own making. And what I'm feeling like is a lot of you are learning where you are stepping out of your south node in Virgo and or the 6th house, stepping out of that overused Mercury mind energy and stepping into your Pisces or 12th house power. And the way that I'm perceiving it is, it's like, think of there's like a lot of static, right? When like there's a you're trying to tune in something as a station and it's all like crackly and breaking up, right? And what's happening is that you are, as you're walking out of this old energy, of this old like Virgo 6th house energy, and you're opening yourself up, it's becoming more clear. So a lot of you, your natural gifts are coming up. A lot of you might be getting more intuitive hits. You might be, more psychic hits. You might, a lot of the gifts that you are born to embody are coming out, because you're moving from this very overused staticky type of energy, and you're walking out of that. And so a lot of you are probably feeling like, okay, yeah, like I'm feeling different, but you're still in the process of doing this. So you want to continue this process. Now let's look at your timeline cards to get some more clarity. Okay, so you've got the 9 of Swords upright, you've got the Temperance card, okay, and you've got the 9 of Wands reversed. So the Temperance card is, this is the process that's happening in within you. Things are tempering inside you. This is inner alchemy. Things are blending and tempering. You're in the process of becoming the best version of yourself. And it's very critical, like what I'm getting for this reading is, as you're going through this, resist going into the old patterns. Like, for example, with this 9 of Swords here, okay? If you find yourself like worrying too much or having anxiety on things, be aware of it. Just be aware of it. And what can you do to alleviate the anxiety? Are you overthinking things? Are you, Virgo and the 6th house, that is, the house and the sign of the worry wart. Okay. So it's natural. And that's just an overused, mind. So you want to make, if you're like not having great dreams, if you find yourself worrying and anxiety, what can you do to alleviate that? What is it you have to do? And so you have to figure out like a strategy, in order to like balance that out. Okay. And you will find a strategy. For some of you, it might be like, well, I go for a walk, I take a bath, I do yoga, I do a hobby or something like that. Whatever it is, but that you want to try to limit the anxiety that you're feeling at any. If you find yourself feeling that way, stop yourself and say, wait a minute, why am I doing this? One of the greatest things I ever heard in dealing with anxiety was the story of Eckhart Tolle. And he said this in his great book, The Power of Now. Before he became who he was to become, he had this awakening where it was, in bed, where he woke up and he would always like be really anxious, and have these like bad dreams, and he realized one time where he said, what am I anxious for? I'm here in bed, I'm warm, I'm comfortable, I've got food and water, I'm okay. And he started to realize that, like, a lot of the things that he was worried about, and we've all experienced this. I know, I've got Pluto and Virgo, okay? So like I have a tendency to worry, but when you stop yourself and you say, why am I really worrying? It's our natural way of being sometimes, because we think we have to do something. But when you sit back and you think about it, like, there's nothing wrong right now. There's no need for me to worry, right? So that could be a strategy for some of you, right? Now, the Nine of Wands over here, okay, reversed. The other heads up for you as you're going through this is to be aware of past patterns. So, and a lot of you can do this, right? So as you're feeling things, if you're not feeling quite right, as I said, with worry and anxiety or anything else that's going on, and it doesn't feel right to you, stop and say, like, okay, am I repeating a pattern that has happened in the past? And if so, work through it, very, very calmly. Like, oh, okay, this is how I deal with anxiety. I have insomnia and I can't, I just sit up and worry. Okay. It's you literally, what it is you are trying to get in control of your mind, because your mind is what is going to push your emotions, right? And it's pushing them in different directions. So it's literally like taming a wild beast, right? So it's just stop yourself and say, like, okay, why am I feeling anxious? Really, is there anything really to be anxious for at this moment in time? And then you ask yourself, okay, am I doing this because it's just a past pattern that I do, right? So become aware of your pattern. And this is really positive for you for the first 2 weeks, because what this is doing is, even if you can do what I just said, if you can do it one time, it's a win, because you're like, oh, okay, I can do that. I can stop myself. I woke up worried. I took some deep breaths. I drank a little bit of water. And I'm like, what am I worried about? I'm okay right now. Everything's fine right now. I don't need to use my mind energy to do that. And, if you have to, just, to calm yourself, make yourself a cup of tea or something, or do whatever you need to do, relax, like read a book, until you fall back asleep. Okay. But this is what you're working with right here. And this is part of the process of you coming into this like new state of being. And as you do that, you're going to see that as the static starts to clear up, you're going to start to see other gifts start to come out that you have, your natural gifts. Now let's look at your advice cards. You've got the Page of Swords reversed, and you've got the Five of Pentacles. We'll start with the Page of Swords reversed. Okay. Pages are messages, okay? They are communications and they're messages. And it can be messages that we are receiving or sending, but it's also, they could be messages we are internally receiving and internally sending out. So our mind, the messages that we give ourselves. And what this is also a card is of vigilance. This is reversed, okay? And this is saying, again, as I was saying before, you want to really pay attention to your internal communication. What's going on in there? Okay, stop and something's going on, and stop yourself and just realize what it is you're thinking. Don't beat yourself up or whatever, but think about what's going on in your mind. Okay, what kind of internal dialogue's going on? Just become aware of it and just say, do I really need to be like saying that to myself? And the reason I said like it's like a past pattern is because I know that I've been there, right? Where you just get in the habit of doing it. It's like a bad habit of like, you just start thinking and the wheels start turning and you go down these roads in your mind, okay? And it's very almost addictive, right? As I said, just become aware of it. Become aware of this internal dialogue. And this will help also because you're like, oh, okay, I see what's going on now, because as long as you don't have to let it take you out like a tide. You have control of it. We have the ability to control our minds and emotions, right? But sometimes, as I said, it's a habit. It's something that we get into. It's like a pattern. And then this Five of Pentacles is interesting because you want to make sure that you are not alone in this, okay? And the advice here is make sure that you take advantage, reach out to resources around you, which is other people that um, care about you. Like sometimes it's good to talk things out. Like there's resources. Is there a friend? Is there, a loved one I can talk to? Are there, a therapist or whatever it is, like there's ways to tap into resources around you. Maybe it's reading a book, going to a seminar, watching a seminar, video on YouTube or whatever it is. But if you feel like, and some of you may, if you feel like, I just feel like, alone, or like, I don't know, like I'm going through this by myself. You want to stop yourself because you don't have to go through this and you shouldn't go through this by yourself. This is part of the process. Yes, you have to do the inner work and the inner alchemy, as this Temperance card is saying. But it doesn't mean that there are other resources around you. And even like I said, they might not even be people resources. It could be, just like books and other things of getting through this. But tap into the resources around you. You definitely, if you feel alone in any way, look and search for ways where you don't have to be alone going through this. Is there someone that you can talk to and relate this to? Okay. So that's really important. And, watch out for ways to where you can, utilize these resources around you. Okay. Anyway, I hope this reading was helpful to you and you found some value in it. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like a personal tarot reading based on your astrological chart, there's going to be a link in the description box below. With that, I'll say thank you. We'll see you on some more videos. Many blessings.